Michael Jordan was different from every other top-level athlete we've ever seen. If you've ever stood in the way of him winning a championship with the Chicago Bulls, he would run you over before he would ever eat with you or be your friend. Jordan had a lot of respect and admiration for Larry Bird.
Yo, dog. You bitch, fuck you. Y'all gave us the run for our money. Yeah. I'll see you. All right, take care. Thank you. Work on that golf game of yours.
But he was never going to tell him that. During the 1986 playoffs, Bird said that Michael Jordan was like God. Jordan didn't thank Bird for the compliment because he didn't want to look weak. In the first round of the playoffs in 1986, when Jordan was 23 years old, he played against Bird in the Boston Celtics. Jordan's Bulls didn't have enough firepower or depth to keep up with the eventual NBA champions. But MJ wasted no time showing that he was going to be a force to be reckoned with for years to come. Jordan scored 49 points in Game 1, which was the first game of the series.
Robert Parrish and credit Michael Jordan.
Pick is the tempo of the game by the Bulls to try and get some fast break opportunities.
Jordan found his way in once again and has his second.
In Game 2, he scored 63 points, which was an NBA playoff record. His team lost 135-131 in overtime. MJ made 22 of his 41 shots, and he also grabbed 5 boards, gave out 6 assists, stole 3 balls, and blocked 2 shots. It's still one of the best playoff performances in the history of the league. Bird gave Jordan the best compliment he's ever gotten after the game.
It wasn't Michael Jordan out there. It was God disguised as Michael Jordan.
Point blank, I never seen nobody play like he plays, and I mean, you can include all of them.
Bird said at the time, "I think he's God dressed up as Michael Jordan. He's the best NBA player there is." Today in the playoffs, on national TV at the Boston Garden, he put on one of the best shows ever. At the time, Jordan was a rising star in the NBA who was still trying to find his way. On the other hand, Bird was already a real star and was going to be inducted into the Hall of Fame. You'd think Jordan would have gotten in touch at some point to say thanks for the nice thing you said, but he didn't, and there's a good reason for that.
Larry Bird talks about that game like it was the new coming of Jesus or something.
He paid me the highest compliment, and I think that was very gratifying that I earned Larry Bird's respect.
When Bird said that to me, that was the biggest thing anyone has ever said to me, and that's how much he respected me, Jordan said on Jackie McMullen's podcast, Icons Club. But I didn't really call him or hug him. I wanted to keep the edge we had over each other in competition. As long as we live, we'll never see another Michael Jordan. When Michael Jordan joined the NBA, he was already making an impact for the Chicago Bulls and establishing himself as one of the best players in the league. But during those years, Larry Bird was thought to be the best player because he won MVP award after MVP award and led the Boston Celtics to several NBA titles.
Really unbelievable. Dominique guarded him, Cliff guarded him, Antoine guarded him, I guarded him. Nothing worked.
Bird with 8 seconds. Bird on the drive. The runner is good again.
Bird was the clear winner, and the fact that he could play so many different positions was a big reason why the Celtics were the best team in the NBA at the time. But Bird quickly learned to respect Jordan after their first games together, especially in the playoffs when the Celtics had no way to stop Jordan. Larry Bird talks about what made Michael Jordan the best player he'd ever seen, and what made him different from everyone else he had ever met in his autobiography. Even though there were a few high flyers in the NBA at the time, Jordan took it to a whole new level. Bird knew right away that the new generation of NBA players would take the league by storm.
Front pressured by Dennis Johnson. Michael on the drive, in for the right. Hesitation move, through the hoop for the right. Scoop shot, good on the reverse. Michael! 12-6 Boston.
Michael Jordan was and still is a very different kind of player from anyone else I had seen. He's on a completely different level. Magic and I do everything on the ground. When I first saw Michael play, I knew that a new era was about to start.
So if I said Michael Jordan, what would you say?
I think unbelievable. I mean, I can tell you some things that happened in the games against us. One time I turned, I jumped, and he still went. His knees almost hit me in the chin. And that's when I realized that this guy's pretty special.
In 10 years, there will be a lot of people who look like Michael Jordan. A lot of them will switch the ball from one hand to the other, go under it, spin around, and do all sorts of other things with it. When the Bulls picked Jordan, a lot of people said that he played a lot like his idol Julius Erving because they both played mostly above the rim. But Bird said that Jordan was better than Erving because he could use both hands just as well, while Erving mostly only used his right. When people asked me to compare Michael to Dr. J, I told them that Dr. J usually did everything with one hand. He didn't use his left hand much, but Michael doesn't care if he's going left or right.
Jordan with the drive and the reverse. Michael Jordan. This is a great move by Michael Jordan. Great reverse underneath the basket. Great suspension. Great touch.
And you can't stop Michael once he's in the air, if you don't stop him before he takes off. During those epic games in the first round of the 1986 playoffs, Jordan dominated the Bulls, and no matter what they did on defense, they couldn't beat him. They had a much better team, so they won the series in 5 games. But Bird's known since then that Jordan's going to be the next big thing in the NBA. He liked how Jordan was so good on both ends of the court and how versatile he was. He also liked how, like Bird, Jordan was a fierce competitor. Michael has everything he needs. He can run fast, jump high, block shots, and defend well. He's a great competitor most of all. It was great to see Michael join the league, but I don't want to see too many more guys like him, at least not while I'm still around. Bird was right when he said that Jordan was a great player. A few years later, Jordan took the league by storm, and as we all know,
now watch as Michael Jordan comes at the bottom of your screen here, how he leaves the defensive man. Dumars was thinking that he had rotation help. Woo! Wow. Oh. Watch the quickness that he pivots here. There it is right there.
Went on to become the best and one of the most accomplished players in NBA history. Soon, the Bird and Magic era came to an end. The Pistons took over for a couple of years and became one of Jordan's biggest rivals, but Jordan took on the challenge and beat them. After that, nothing else happened in Jordan. When Bird says that Jordan's the best player of all time, that adds more weight to the GOAT debate because Bird knows a lot about basketball and what it takes to be the best in the NBA. Larry Bird grew up in Southern Indiana, so he always cheered for the Pacers.
Sellers has Jordan. Jordan with 2 seconds to go, puts it up and scores at the buzzer. Michael Jordan has won it for Chicago.
In the 1990s, though, it was clear that the Chicago Bulls were better than Indiana, so Larry Legend gave credit to Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen. But when it came down to it, Bird said in no uncertain terms that it was MJ who made Pippen a great player. I think Scottie Pippen was the second best player in the league and played right next to Michael Jordan. If you take Michael off that team, Scottie drops to 5th place. But when Michael was out there with him, they were the best 2 players in the league. The Celtics legend wrote in his book Bird Watching, Bird says that Jordan and Pippen were unstoppable as a team.
Right screen comes to the left wing, left of the circle, now down the lane, throws up a hook, on the rim, drops in. Michael Jordan, left wing, guarded by Shaw, puts it on the floor, into the lane for the floater. In and out, and it drops back in.
But when you take one of them out of the picture, it's a whole different story. Bird said that Pippen was at his best when he played with Jordan, but it wasn't the other way around because Pippen wouldn't have been as good without MJ. As it turned out, many people could agree with Bird's assessment, since everyone knows that Pippen didn't do as well without Jordan. All in all, Michael Jordan's truly the GOAT of the NBA. Despite the many candidates challenging his throne, most basketball fanatics believe that the crown is undisputed. That's all for today. Till next time.